Hello, America. Welcome to the Junto Podcast, where we promote the practical applications of critical thinking and bold creativity. I am your host, Edgar Mills. Thanks for joining us. Hey, America. Welcome back to episode 38. This episode is entitled All In with Nathan Hicks, my good buddy. So this is a unique episode in that he and I sat down together to record episodes, not an interview. We just had a conversation about what it means to be all in. So I hope you enjoy it, and here it is.
Yeah, this is different for me because I typically have notes ad nauseum when I sit down. And instead,
I do.
we have an outline that we scratched together 5 minutes ago. So let's talk about how we came to be here, and we can go back. I never know what level of personal information people enjoy, but sometimes it's more than I deliver. So I'm going to share with the folks how we met.
All right, let's do it.
I got an email out of nowhere from this guy, Edgar Mills, that moved to Rome, and he's got a shooting instruction business, and he wants to explore, creative collaboration. And I remember I was in a meeting with our program director when it popped up. May have been, I don't remember if it was an email or a Facebook message. I was like, what? Who is this? And how are we? Guns are no part of what we do, and that's fine. But, you are much more creative in your thinking than I am at times. And eventually we met, and then we have since collaborated on stuff and become friends along the way. Is that an accurate recollection?
Yeah, well, because I'm always thinking it ain't just guns for me, and it's right. I got guns, and then I got the other stuff. I was thinking the other stuff.
Yeah.
But it's all under Osprey shooting.
I didn't know the other stuff at the time.
Right, yeah. So, because I reached out to you, I sent you an email just because I saw your storefront.
Mm-hmm.
So I looked it up online, and I sent an email. When Stewart still had the bike shop, I went in there and gave him, hey, man.
Let's do something.
Because I used to ride bikes. That was my thing. And I thought, minimum, he's an outdoor guy. He's got to be. So we can do something.
Yeah.
And that's what I thought. Yeah, at minimum, I know they do. It looks like mountaineering. It looks like at least kayaking because I saw kayaks in the store. It's like we can do something.
Yeah. Little did you know, a lot of the pieces of that puzzle were already connected.
Yeah. I didn't know. No, I had no idea. But I'm glad it was because it made life a little bit better for me.
Yeah, well, it has made it better for me.
Yeah. While I think I'm building a network, I was just punching my way into it.
Typical Green Beret style.
Sort of.
Yeah. So that's globally how we came to be here.
Yep.
And then specifically, I did a recorded podcast earlier in the fall on my experience running Mid-State Mile back in June. And I talked about, I won't rehash the whole thing, but I talked about when it came time for me to stop running. Part of the reason was because I had other obligations the following week. It was a busy time in the calendar for us. And that event wasn't worth me burying myself in such a way that I was going to pay the consequences of it for days later. And I said something about conversation on the back end of that with someone else about what does it mean to be all in.
Yep. You said that was the phrase right there. That's what caught my attention. And I probably didn't even hear the follow-on sentences for that because I heard that phrase and then I thought, man, what does it mean to be all in?
Mm-hmm.
That's a big one.
It is.
And then I immediately thought, that's a whole podcast episode right there. Probably the same day when I listened to the podcast, I called you and said, hey, man, can I use this?
Yeah. And I said, yes. And then I said, well, hold on a minute.
Yeah.
Always looking for content for myself. I was like, what if we just sit down and talk about it?
Yeah. I think it's good. So that's how we came to be here. So what I think is, how do you define all in? It's very subjective. I think we both agree.
Yeah.
And I said I think we should define it academically first. So simple, I don't know, Oxford Dictionary terms, if that were just a single word, I guess would be full commitment and the highest priority of your time.
Yeah.
And efforts. I mean, in a very generic term.
Right. I scratched something down last night and I said that it meant to be giving as much of oneself as possible to a certain thing while taking into consideration one's general station or vocation in life and the specific areas of responsibility therein.
Holy moly, very eloquent.
I was trying to...
But the problem is and we're going to get to this, I'm sure, but not everybody takes into consideration
right.
the other aspects.
Right.
Some guys are all in.
Yes.
Forsaking all else.
Right. and there's a time and a place for that.
Yeah, no, there is for sure.
Well, if that's I think each of those are kind of chipping away at the same thing.
Yeah.
If those are our working definitions, just kick around context, either that you and I have experienced where we've kind of had to suss out what does it mean to be all in, or it doesn't have to be limited to things that you and I have done, but...
Well, yeah. Well, let's talk generally family, right? What the first thing we got there is, what does it mean to be all in for family? So I'll give an example. My dad, now we weren't a very emotional crew, the Mills boys, but I would define my dad as being all in for family. So much so that my mom and dad divorced early. He remarried to a lady. He put so much effort and support into the broad family, not just me, but like uncles or his brothers and sisters and everything. He was all in for the Mills family. So much so that it kept him broke. And his wife eventually left him pretty much because of it. Now, what that meant to me growing up, well, throughout our different aspects of life, like we all lived in the same house half the time, like literally 8 people in a 3-bedroom house, that kind of thing. And my bedroom was the couch for, a few years there. But he was not going to let anyone in the Mills family go down in flames, even sometimes despite their input, you know what I mean?
Even if it was because of their actions.
Right. Which, with a certain uncle who will remain nameless. Yeah. So that all I got from that when I was growing up, I didn't get any deep altruistic, selfless thing. It was just the way he was, and it's the way it was. Dad was the guy who helped, and my uncle David was also. He died in 91 or 91, I think. He was the older brother, and my dad was there was an older sister, and then my dad was the next. But yeah, he died. So once he died, my dad took on a whole bunch of taking care of family type stuff. Anyway, he was all in, right? What I saw was, it was just, we were a close family.
Yeah.
That was it. I mean, you stop by your grandma's house just on the way home from work or
just
to pop in.
Yeah.
Make sure it's right.
Well, you got that characteristic from your dad then, didn't you? I mean, I see that.
Well, I don't know, but that's how my dad was anyway.
Yeah.
But so that's what I call being all in for family, right? And to the detriment of his marriage. So was it good or was it not? I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it, and again, it's hard to speak in a vacuum because already we're getting into trying to place the right emphasis on which priority.
Right. Yeah.
And that it's sometimes difficult to do that even when it's coming from a generous, charitable place. Yeah.
Well, then there's priorities.
Right.
Well, there's some people that just can't prioritize their daily routine. I can't. I skipped the gym yesterday. I had an appointment with Hamza.
And you missed it.
And the guy I had on the range, we're both talkers. And we went long anyway on the training. And then we talking about things. I'm looking,
Hamza's going to make you pay for it.
He makes it. Yeah. You know what? He's so kind, and he's like a gentle guy.
He is. Until he tells you
until you got these stupid bands around your knees. Yeah.
Well, family, you brought it up, when I think of an example I give often with my childhood is that the way it played out for me, it was kind of stereotypical or traditional, ideal in a lot of ways. When we were younger children, my mom worked from home. She took care of us. My dad worked, and they made whatever sacrifices financially they needed to do to make that happen. I remember my dad was a CPA, and I remember a lot of childhood things that he wasn't there for because it's busy season and I've got to go do people's tax returns.
Yeah.
But I never felt slighted. I never felt like he wasn't showing up for me. And I can only credit that to just the way that they balanced the things, and I knew the reasons why he wasn't there if he was there, and
Right.
you know,
That's good.
so all in, yeah, I guess it did strike some sort of balance.
Well, it sounded like he was able to prioritize
He could.
work life and home life and all that.
You get coffee right there. I don't think the video will pick it up, but just there you go.
Character.
Well, I said to you on the phone the other day that you've lived this all in as a kind of a necessary requirement of your chosen profession for a number of years. All in looked very different for you because you were not in proximity to family.
Right.
They were still obviously there and a consideration for you, but you're across the world.
Yeah, that's right. A lot of that going on. If anybody asked me, I would have said family first while I was gone.
Right.
And I was gone a lot, especially my first few years in SF that's when they squeeze in all the schools and all the stuff, like the first couple of years.
So even if you're not deployed, you're going to a school.
Yeah, you're going. And we were in Germany at that, which means you got to go somewhere else all the time. Yeah. So I was gone a lot. I would have said family first. Now, that's not 100% true because I was kind of wild, drinking with the boys and things like that. But I don't know. We're about to get in some deep nuance here, but any day, any time would die for my family, right? To keep them from harm. But would you not go out with your buddy you hadn't seen in 3 years,
right?
And
to come home and
pound a couple gallons of Guinness?
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So yeah, there's. I would say, I'm all in for my family, 100%, and I've mellowed and matured and all those things, but. Yeah. Priorities.
It's difficult.
Yeah. And we're probably going to say the word balance 8 million times throughout this. Yeah. It's a difficult balance.
Another example, and I think I've probably talked about it in podcasts. I mean, you mentioned a fitness endeavor where there's a big training block involved to try to, get the outcome that you want when it comes time to do the event. And it's the same. I mean, I just feel a lot of, I don't know if responsibility, I don't know what the right word is, to sort out the tension where even when that is higher on the priority list, it still is not ultimately the priority. I'll ditch a run if something pops up at work that's important enough, or if something at family goes differently than expected that day and I need to. Yeah. But then there are also days where, no, I'm going to kind of hold on to that run.
Yeah.
And
well, that's the question. Are you all in? I think you can, even if you skip the run.
Right.
Because ultimately, I don't care what it is. Ultimately, I think family issues take.
Yeah, they kind of, it's like a trump card.
Yeah. When I listen to you or when I'm listening to John, his podcast, him and Becca, to do all the training up to one of these ridiculous runs. I say ridiculous because I'm never going to do anything like that. I just don't see it ever happen. You have to be all in. You can't be in my shape right now and be like, oh yeah, man, I'm going to go do a 100-miler with Nathan.
Well, I would say in that context, all in at least means that it's consuming a fair bit of mental energy. Because if I'm trying to arrange the week so that I don't miss a workout, or if I see that I'm going to have to miss one and I'm trying to reprioritize, okay, well, if I'm missing one, which one should I miss? And it's kind of a constant shuffling. So in the least, it occupies from the time that I say with certainty, I'm going to sign up and run this thing to the day that comes. All in at least means I'm thinking about it all the time and trying to shuffle the cards in such a way so that family isn't neglected, work isn't neglected, and I get the workout in, and I do all that without losing my mind.
Yeah. No, that's a big thing. That's a big bite.
But with that comes, this is just my own neuroses, but when I miss something, then it brings up the commitment question. You know what I mean? Like,
just question your own.
Then I'm like, well,
do I really want it if I skipped it?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I don't know. There's some guys out there. I don't know. I think Kurt he's an all in kind of dude.
Yeah, 100%. Do you want to? Well, your listeners are familiar with him. Mine aren't. Do you want to give a
Kurt? Yeah. So he's local here to Rome. He's a professional shooter now, is what he does. He's also a Green Beret, and we're working together on this range project. He's a physical superhero. So, and when he trains for a match, like he does the tactical games, that's his thing right now. That's all he does.
Yeah.
I don't know how Beck, his wife is.
Yeah.
But I know that that's the only thing that he's thinking about. Like literally nothing else going on. Like, Kurt, we need to have a meeting. We need to talk about, well, man, I'm going to be at the gym for like this 8-hour block. Oh, man, holy cow. Yeah, man, he's all in.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know.
He's told me before, I don't remember the round count, but he wakes up and dry fires a certain number of times before he can have breakfast.
Yeah. That's commitment, right? So he's a disciplined guy too. You know, he was a collegiate athlete and all this stuff. But I look at that and that's the definition of all in to me. But he's also like a stoic, quiet dude that doesn't talk very much. Even when you're in a social setting, he doesn't talk that much.
Right.
So I don't know what his priorities are, how his priorities shape out in his brain.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. He's what I call all in.
Yeah, for
when
sure.
I think of it in my mind, I'm like, yeah, Kurt is all in.
Yeah.
Whatever it is. So that it's not even for a thing.
Right.
My thing is the range. I think about, I could pitch my range business to you right now in my sleep. If somebody whispered range, I would roll over and just start, yeah, it's going to have 500 yards, 200 yards. I would just pitch
it's thought out.
Yeah. I've been literally thinking, my wife says since 2008, as I've been first started talking about building my own range.
Really?
I know that in 2010, I put stuff on paper.
Okay. Well, she's probably right then.
On digits, I put stuff on paper.
Yeah.
In 2017, we became a proper LLC. And here it is, 2020, almost 26, and still don't have a friggin' range. So is that all in?
Well, but you were still active in the military at the time.
Yeah, that's right. Until 2020. So
2020, but there's still a move. There's relocating.
There's
business,
forward motion. There's forward motion, and that's what keeps me sane. Is that there's forward motion.
Yeah, but I think even in there's this myth that if you're all in, it's going to equate to results in a compressed timeline, which isn't accurate.
You're right. So that kind of leads us into our next thing there. Yeah, just because you're all in, don't guarantee success.
Right.
Right. Don't guarantee anything.
Yeah.
You got to have. Never mind just your commitment, your all-in commitment. You got to have the knowledge and skill and relationships and just sometimes luck, even maybe,
right,
or divine intervention,
right,
to make things go in the way you think they should be going. I told you about the email I got last night.
Yeah,
to me, that's like a positive step forward with a strategic relationship.
Right, and I would argue it comes as a byproduct of the result of your work over years, and it's not something that you can factor into the equation on your own.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, let's step into faith a little bit. I barely scratched the surface, but I feel like when it's right, that's when it happens when it's right. If you're doing everything right.
Right.
So maybe I have been doing everything right all the time. That's why it's so slow. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or maybe I'm not ready I don't know, man, but I do believe that things happen the way the divine path, and we just may not understand it.
No, I think we definitely don't understand it. I mean, I think the trap there, and the trap there is that if it's not happening, you're doing something wrong, and
maybe
that's probably an oversimplification. That could be what's happening, but I don't think it's always. And so, in the same, I guess the other side of the coin is just because it happens. Maybe it was a direct result of you doing something right. Maybe it was the Lord just saying, like,
right,
here you go.
Maybe if you don't figure it out by now, right. it was supposed to.
I'm going to slide this in. Yeah, that's a tricky one, but
throw you a bone.
I do agree that there are things that often need to happen or do happen that it's no direct result of our labor.
Right. There's other forces at work for sure.
But there's this, we kind of talked a minute ago, mentioned this, some of the myths that are out there. I'm bad or good depending on how you want to say it. I have a habit of deconstructing things that I see on social media, and it doesn't take a lot. I mean, it just takes a little bit of paying attention, and you can see inconsistencies in what people post. And I wonder, these people with massive followings, am I the only one that sees that, this person said he's all in, he's going to commit to run X number of miles per day for the rest of the year. And then you maybe get one other mention that's just crickets. And I'm like, how's that running going? Are you following through?
Yeah.
Are you as all in as
Right.
you got the social credit for mentioning it?
Yeah.
And you got the attaboys, but are you still doing it? So
Yeah.
I'm pretty, like I said, I have a habit of deconstructing narratives that I see, but there are some myths I think perpetuated about what it means to be all in, how, quote unquote, easy it is to be all in. And I just think it sets you up for a bad time.
Or easy, but yes, maybe not even how easy it is, but how simple. It's simple versus easy, right? Well, all you have to do is commit everything. Oh, okay.
Right.
That's a lot to commit. Well, yeah, why not? Why don't you? Yeah, I don't follow the influencers very much, man. There's like 3 shooting guys that I follow for their technical delivery, not
right.
And they don't do sexy content anyway. Just very informative. Other than that, I'm going to bring Hamza up again. That's one of the reasons I like working out with him. He's not a gym bro.
No.
He's just a quiet.
But he's got the chops to be if he wanted.
Oh, yeah. Oh, he could. Yeah. He's a beast.
Yeah.
An absolute beast. But it's just like, all right, do this 1,000 times. So what that does for me is, well, it's all me. It ain't Hamza's hype or any, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's not false hype. I was never one for the false motivation anyway.
Yeah.
That was a catchphrase in the Army. False motivation is better than no motivation.
I don't know.
I beg to differ.
Yeah, you got to find the real thing.
Motivation isn't even much of a thing for me. Like priorities is what I call it. I just have a priority. Well, you're motivated to do that. Well, it's my priority. It's just what I'm going to do.
Right.
It ain't a motivation factor. But yeah, the influencers, yeah, and some of these guys are incredibly talented or incredibly fit or some incredibly skilled even. But it just seems somehow, I don't know, man, disingenuous.
Well, I think part of it for me is once someone has achieved a level of success, at least financially, then there are resources at their disposal to make all in look very different for them.
Yes, there we go. Resources.
And when you have the resource of time by way of, I have someone that takes my kids to school, I have a cook, I have a personal assistant,
Yeah.
I have someone that kind of helps run my life, then suddenly I'm not going grocery shopping, I'm not doing laundry, I'm not doing a lot of things that the regular person like you and I factor in, and good for them. It's not a bad thing that they've achieved that level of success. It just means that their recipe doesn't work for me, and I shouldn't judge myself against their recipe.
Right. No, absolutely. That's it. Because everybody's cooking something different.
Right. Yeah. We've got different ingredients to work with.
Everybody's cooking something different. I'm not trying to match what anybody else is doing in any way. I'm not trying to be overtly different either. We're just individuals with different paths, different backgrounds, different resources, and good on the dudes who, I don't know, you grew up in the hood and you struggled through and now you're a wild success. That's awesome. But that blueprint doesn't fit.
Right.
For everyone at all. And even a lot of people. I don't like the mindset. I don't like to use the word mindset very much. But in my other, in the 2 team guy stuff, it's leadership development and team building. And you can learn how to think about things in different ways a little bit, but yeah, the recipe, the blueprint, it doesn't match everyone. I can't go out and do the same thing that, some of these guys have done because there's different factors from good decisions or bad decisions in the past. Who knows what, but that's everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone. So yeah, those influencers, I get the feeling maybe this is just a personal feeling, but I don't know if there's any evidence, but I think they're starting to lose juice. Like that whole thing's starting to lose a little juice.
But then the smart ones are pivoting to try to I'm a little cynical.
Uh-oh.
They're pivoting to communicate something that now seems more authentic and less packaged. But I still seem to deconstruct it in such a way that it seems artificial.
I talked about that a little bit on one of the episodes I did, citizen journalism and all that. I talked about some of these famous news people who are now like doing podcasts out of their basement.
Yeah.
But it's
never
still,
mind. There's still a production team.
Yeah, it's just
right.
And they're trying to throw out that authenticity card.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the makeup guys back there putting them on.
Yeah, I think authenticity is proven over a long period of time.
Right. Yeah. You can. Yeah. That's right.
I just had this thought. Do you think I don't know if it's devil's advocate, but at least consider something that I haven't until now. Do you think the fact that you and I are where we are in life, meaning like we're generally okay, inhibits our generally? I think we could each rattle off ways that we could be a lot better. Yeah. But neither one of us are wondering where we're gonna what we're gonna eat tonight, where our meal's coming from.
No, we are in the first world. Yeah, first world problems.
Right.
Me and you have first world problems.
But when I think of someone that is coming out of a background that's far different, whether it's poverty or addiction or whatever, the need to be all in and kind of forsake whatever comes from being all in is heightened. And so I think of an example of someone who didn't grow up with a family that they knew loved them. Maybe they grew up and I don't know, there was bad things all around and they committed, I'm getting out of this. Probably all in for them look different.
It looks different. Yeah. And I mean, we were talking about fitness. That's a little it's not, that's a lifestyle really, but fitness is a little superficial compared to I'm trying to escape sexual abuse or something like that. So yeah, that all in might be a little more, what's the word, tangible, but like more emphasis.
Right. A willingness to take whatever comes with.
Right. Yeah.
Focusing on a singular thing.
Yeah, man. That's a very different context, but yeah, man. People who are working their way from like that, whatever the lowest of the low is, their all in is probably completely different and it might have very different consequences. Like failure has different, if you go to do 100-miler and don't finish it, your feet hurt and you're tired for a week. Homeless guy goes all in and don't finish it. Winter's coming, you know what I mean? Yeah. So yeah, I think different potential consequences create a different, I don't know, man, motivation.
Yeah. Right? And I think a willingness to forego whatever comes with being all in. I mean, part of that working definition was giving consideration to the responsibilities that come with all of the hats that you wear in life. And if you kind of, more or less say the only hat I'm wearing is getting out of poverty and having a roof over my head and consistent food to eat, then you kind of don't care whatever else.
Yeah.
You let go by the wayside to make that happen.
Yeah. I can see that. And I can see that. And then on the other end of that though, is people who are not in that situation. People who pursue a hobby with absolute 100% all in gusto and then neglect their other duties, because there are other duties.
There are,
especially if you got kids or a job. Like me and you are kind of fortunate that my job is whatever I say it is.
Yeah.
Now at some point, if I'm not making money, I gotta start.
Right.
I gotta start.
There's at least the myth of flexibility.
There's some flexibility in a way that yeah, that's right. But you could forsake things that.
Well, I've had a couple of thoughts. One, that there are people that may be addicted to work, and maybe addicted is too strong of a word, but they can be all in at work because it's in an area that they enjoy. They're using their talents in a way that they enjoy. They're appreciated by work. They're getting nothing but good feedback at work. And then they come home and it's like, well, I don't really care what you did at work.
Right.
This needs to be done. And this needs to be done. You know, you're just dad or you're just husband.
Well, one,
or
I don't think
wife.
addiction is too strong a word for that.
Yeah.
I think that fits because, if everybody loves you because you're awesome and you do great, then everybody's like, man, you're doing so, it feels real good.
Yeah.
And then you get kicked in the balls when you get home.
It's easy to work a 15-hour day when everyone's.
Now, look, this may be too personal. I'm not throwing my son under the bus because I admire what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
But my older son is a firefighter. He's a advanced EMT, but he's also in paramedic school right now.
Mm-hmm.
So that means he goes and does a 24-hour. Then he comes home and works on an ambulance as a EMT. And then on his only day off, he's in paramedic school. And then he gets up the next morning and goes to firefighting for 24 hours again.
Does it all over.
And he made the decision to do that for a longer term thing, goal.
Right.
But meanwhile, his wife's stressed out.
Yeah.
She's dealing with 4 kids.
Mm-hmm.
And he pops in for 4 or 5 hours.
Gotta go.
Disrupts life, and then he's out again.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, so he's all in. He loves his job, and he works 2 jobs. You ain't getting rich being a firefighter.
No.
So he's working 2 jobs, which it's consuming, but he's doing all the right things as far as taking care of his family. He's all in.
Yeah.
Like he's committed. That's it. And I tell my wife this, we're almost 30 years we've been married. And anytime the word divorce gets tossed around, I'm like, nah, we're like that. This is life and death.
Yeah.
So
we'll figure it out.
And that's the way it's been our whole career.
Well, I mean,
marriage.
In your son's example, all in that case, hopefully, and I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt that it was a decision he and his wife made. So look, this is going to be really rough for a little while.
I hope that they made it together. Yeah.
And hopefully on the other side of all of this, it lets up a little and there's more financial stability. And
I think that's what they're looking to.
Paramedic now versus an EMT. And
I think that's what they're looking to. And I think that will play out the way he hopes it will. Because he's doing good. He's good. He's one of the higher level students in the paramedic piece of it. So.
Well, would your wife have said the same thing about you when you were at SF?
She did.
Go do those things. You pop in for a minute.
No, she was all in.
Yeah.
Yeah. She was on board. She supported me 100% all the time, every time. Because we discovered early in my life, the Mills, and I'm going to attribute this not to my dad, but my mom. We kind of have a forceful personality, or not forceful, maybe.
Big personality.
Big personality.
In a no frills way.
It's all about job satisfaction for me.
Mm-hmm.
Money is whatever. If I can pay the bills, life is good. I have to have some fulfillment in my job.
Mm-hmm.
We discovered that very early in the game, and she was like, okay, didn't drive on.
Do what you got to do. Yeah.
And we made a decision for her not to work because of the kids. So I think our kids are well adjusted because of that. But they did go to public school, but we were very active. Well, I was active when I was home. She was active all the time. And proactive and vigilant. So she supported every bit of it. And now she supports the range begrudgingly, but she can see that, like, if we get this thing done,
it's a good thing.
Because I'm doing the range for legacy, right? I want Zeke to be the guy running the show, like in 2 years, 3 years, maybe. But so anyway, your family's got. So your all in can be yours,
right?
Is it your family's?
Yeah,
and that
if
can
not,
create a whole bunch of friction. Yeah.
Well, I think, to whatever degree I have flexibility in my job now, and there are sometimes I would argue I still don't, it has come on the back of early on, there was none. I mean, whatever higher ground needed, higher ground got. And that was a decision Tanya and I made when we started it. And, once before we hired a program director, there's kind of run up where you're just increasing the capacity of the organization as much as you can. You still don't have the money to bring someone else on, but you're like, if we work really hard, we might can squirrel some away. bring someone else on. So in that period of a year or two, if there was a thing happening, I was there.
Yeah.
And then I was doing all the back end stuff as well with her involvement, of course, too. And so I think of that now, I would say it's still, I'm no less busy. It just looks different. And on some days I can arrange the busyness to suit other parts of my life.
That's how it is. I joke, it is a joke, but I tell people if I were able to pay myself hourly, I'd be a friggin' millionaire.
Oh yeah.
Because I log in hours, man.
Yeah.
Like I'm behind the computer, either building curriculums or frickin' advertisements or outlines for, I don't know, even the podcast. Just
a lot. Well, we were having a conversation last night, a brief one about that. I mean, there is, in a marriage anyway, there's the hope that you can figure out a way to construct life so that each of you have the ability to be all in things that you want to be. So if your spouse has things that he or she want to do, they're not at conflict with one another, or where there is conflict of time or whatever, you sort it out so that each of you can live a life that you feel is fulfilling, challenging.
And I envy those few who like open the business together that they both love and they both, that's awesome, man. My wife don't care about shooting. Right. She's like, I want a gun in the house. So when you're gone, and she shoots well even, but
I bet those people they would have their own stories of how it's hard working alongside one another every day.
Probably a whole different set of problems.
Yeah.
Family, man. So priorities. Yeah. How do you be all in on your thing and then give the appropriate amount of time to your family and your kids, especially young kids who are still in their formidable 4, 5, 6, 7 years old, etc.
Early development. I think there's an aspect of one trying to get the formula as close to right as it can be, and I think it's a moving target, and right is anything but static, and it probably changes daily, if not hourly, in some cases.
I'd agree with that.
But in theory, one would hope that if I get the mix right, then whatever I'm sacrificing at work to be home with family is going to make me better at work. Whatever I'm sacrificing for family or vice versa, we kind of become more well-rounded and better individuals, which make us better in all areas of life.
Yeah. I'm sure the perfect balance exists for someone in some novel somewhere.
Yeah.
Otherwise, in real life, I don't think there's a perfect, like you said, I think it's by the minute.
Right.
Almost like a sliding scale is changing.
And with that, I would also say the more specific your aspiration in one area of life, probably the less that's possible. And if you think of Kurt as example, he has really specific goals that require a tremendously high level of execution.
Yeah. Yep.
And it probably does result in less of what some people would call a balanced life. It's tilted heavily toward one way, and that's just he and his wife's. They've got to sort out what family looks like for them in light of that.
Yeah, and maybe they're normal, and that's a whole nother thing. Is your normal ain't the same as my normal. Change the same as Kurt's normal.
Right.
And that's the thing we talk about in my family all the time. Anytime anybody says the word normal, everybody stops and goes, well, define it.
Right.
What is that exactly? Because I know, I can name you 10 of my friends. Nobody has the same life. Like it's all different. The relationships and just everything, man. So, and that's one of the reasons I'm always carrying on about radical individualism. We're all, it don't matter whether you want to be an individualist or not, you're an individual. I mean, unique in every way.
Yeah.
And somebody else's answer just ain't our answer.
Doesn't work.
Nope.
But it's challenging because I would imagine there are people that know us, either know us well or know us casually. And someone could look at each one of us, and I think of Jeff at the gym. I think of lots of examples of people that often get viewed from someone else, and it's just easy to think, man, Edgar's got this pretty sweet deal. Like they're unaware of the tension that you experience on a daily basis to
they're
sort out
my credit score,
what all in means. He's retired from Green Beret, he's got his own business, must be awesome. And
well, hey, and let's go back.
Awesome.
There's some guys on social media exploiting the hell out of that.
Oh yeah,
and it's awesome.
Well, I wanted to bring you here under the guise of this conversation, really just tell war stories.
Nah, I ain't doing that.
Do you ever, I mean, I wasn't going to go here, but do you ever, and there's got to be the urge to play the vet bro card. Like you've got the credentials.
No way, man. Listen, let me tell you why. My best friend, Timmy Haynes, I love you, Timmy. He and me, we were teammates, and then we were in the same company and we were close throughout my whole SF career. We clowned on that even then. Like you're taking yourself too serious.
Right.
Green Beret's a serious business. Yeah, whatever. But I can tell you now, the public has an entirely distorted view of what the men and women in uniform are out there doing. And never mind. Yeah, sure, man. I'll even go out. I'm very proud. My team, we got a Valor Award in one of our little combat actions there. I'm very proud of it. But it's nothing you wouldn't have done. No, nobody did anything that any other guy I know outside of probably wouldn't have done. I just happened to train to do that
thing
instead of doing whatever else. Nah, man. War stories are good when you're sitting around having a pint with other dudes who know, right?
Right.
Because you say, oh, it sounds so heroic. No, not really. So no, I don't like the bro vet thing at all. But there's dudes, man.
Oh, they lean into
it. They ride it, and they ride it for a long way. And there's a segment of society that just loves it. They eat it up. And that's great, man. I mean, I'm glad that people appreciate veterans and all that stuff. Yeah, I am glad of that. But I also tell people there's still plenty of Vietnam veterans hanging around.
Right.
They're getting up in years.
Yeah.
But if you want to see some war stories, go read like the Shadow or SOG, the Shadow Warriors or whatnot. Madness.
Yeah.
Like they were doing some bizarre, like Hollywood copied what they were doing you know what I'm saying?
Right. In real life.
And you're like, that's not real.
Yeah.
They were doing that stuff. So yeah, there's other dudes out there. And I'm not taking away from it at all, man. I'm proud of my service.
Yeah.
But I'm not taking away from it. But there's some dudes out there like accused of wife beating, accused of stolen valor, who have done dubious things that they tried to cover up that came out. I got enough skeletons in the closet. I ain't trying to, one, be hyper judgmental, and two, pump myself up to be something.
Well, I kind of ran a rabbit hole there.
There's your war story.
Yeah. But the point being, it's easy to look at someone else and just figure there's not much tension in their world of trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
Because they own a business, they run a business, I
look at you the same. I look at Jeff the same way.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on in Jeff's life. I wish I owned a gym.
Yeah.
And I like the way it is now. It's awesome.
Right.
I like the brick. I like the whole thing. Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
We talk a lot, so we are each well acquainted with one another's.
Right. Yeah,
tension.
Y'all are buddies, right?
Yeah.
Y'all are good buddies. So
yeah,
he's probably got his own set of stuff going on, man.
So it's difficult, and as we said, it looks different for each one of us, and there's a high level of responsibility that comes with trying to figure out what the right mix is for each one of us.
Yeah,
and you can't always look around to figure that out.
You can get little nuggets of advice from people or pieces of wisdom from podcasts or from influencers or from whatever. But you just got to put it you got to squeeze it into your own puzzle there, because you can't just, once again, the blueprint is only for one. It's unique.
Yeah. I think even this conversation, though, we could make a lot more off of it if we just changed this conversation and said, this is the way all in is. And if you don't do this, you're wrong.
Fix yourself.
And you're a fool
or un-F yourself.
Right.
Just do this and un-F yourself.
Yeah.
Take this much protein every morning.
And that'll solve it all.
No, they're It'd be cool if it was like that, but it ain't like that.
Yeah.
Yep. It ain't like that.
Well, where do we go from here? How would you advise someone who says, man, my life, I don't know if it's a mess or not, but I'm kind of always trying to figure out how to be all in the things that matter most. Where do I start?
Well, here's the thing that I'm kind of proud of. In my career, well, when you're an SF, right, a lot of times you're somewhere and you get some infantry guys attached to you or whatnot. There's probably 5 or 6 dudes that I've worked with over the decades who call me up once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
And half of them still call me Master Sergeant, which is aggravating, but they'll hit me with some like deep life. Like, hey man, what would you do?
Yeah.
Or what do you think I should do? Or how can I fix this?
Yeah.
I'm like, and I give them my best answer, but also like my answer is it's founded in, especially if it's something I've never like really had hands on, you know? So, but I'm very proud that they still call.
Mm-hmm.
And I try to give the best good advice, but how do you move forward? You have to be able to prioritize, I think, like your life.
Yeah.
So the balance that we kept talking about, you got to figure out how to balance that. If you don't know what's important to you, you're just going to flounder around anyway, whatever it is. You got to know what's important to you. And if it's your family, then you got to act like that.
Right.
And if it's winning a 100-mile race, that's got to be the thing. Can you disregard your family when you're training for that? No, you can't.
No.
But
maybe for 4 hours.
You can set them up and be like, look, I'm going to focus on this. So, yeah, I think priorities, man. A lot of people just can't prioritize their life correctly, organize it. And there's some people out there who are just a wreck.
Yeah.
And their life's a wreck, you know, and they just kind of fumble through and life happens to them instead of them.
Mm-hmm.
I know people like that. And then there's some people who are like a little bit maybe on the autism scale and everything's, and if something gets out of place, they lose it.
Yeah.
So that's a little crazy too.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Balance is hard, man. But that's the goal, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it depends on how you define balance. I mean, I think there's a myth if balance means giving equal attention to everything in life and that somehow balances the scales. I think that's inaccurate.
That's a very literal definition.
If it means applying the right amount of attention to each thing in life.
So I'm going to do a visual here, and it's hard, and I explain this when I'm explaining shooting, speed versus accuracy. Mm-hmm. So you've got 2 scales over here, one's speed, one's accuracy. There's red in the middle, or there's green in the middle, yellow, and then red on the outside. Depending on the difficulty of the target, accuracy might be more important. Mm-hmm. So, but every time that one goes up, this one goes down.
Yeah, yeah.
Once you get into the yellow down there, you gotta, all right.
You gotta bring it back the other way.
You gotta either hold or to start to figure. And that, that's with target difficulty, right? But now we got life difficulty. So if I'm all in on shooting matches, like I'm chasing matches week after week after week, and I'm up here and my wife's down here friggin' stressing out.
Yeah.
I've got to bring it back, man.
Right.
Maybe not equal, but got to get it back in the green.
Slack back in
the green, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll put it this way. And I caught wind that it's a mutual friend of ours was potentially going to do something pretty big, and it would be pretty life altering, at least for a period of time. So I shot him a text, said, consider these 4 things. Here's my unsolicited advice. And then a few days later, he called me, said, hey, thanks for your unsolicited advice. Could I solicit some advice from you now? And we essentially kind of rehashed those 4 things. And it was, do you have a feel that there's a clear mandate or nudge from the Lord to do this? So let's check that box.
That's a fair one.
How does this impact your family?
Yeah.
Wife and kids. The third was, how does this impact you and your ability to maintain some, mental health, kind of maintain who you want to be, who you are.
Yep.
And then how does this affect your impact in the world around you, because you are making an impact in what you're doing now. If you shift gears, the impact is going to be shifted, at least for a time. And so those were the 4 things but as we talked and had a conversation about all of them, you could rationalize a case for either way, either go do this new thing or not. And you could kind of rationalize it all the way down. And what I said, so then we came back and said, I think to me, where that leaves us is, this is a family decision, and you and your wife, you need your wife not to be like, I don't want you to do that, but I will support you. It needs to be more of, let's decide together.
Yeah.
Because the impact is going to be felt, just like your son's family feels the impact of him doing what he's doing now. Yeah. And now if his situation had been different and any one of those other things had been different than they are for him, maybe that's not where he would have landed. But I think in the end, he didn't have a clear sense of making the change, and he stayed put. But for me, it's hard to get around the family piece.
Well, look, man, I never heard it laid out quite that. That's pretty 4 simple steps.
I try to make lists.
Probably apply to life, anything.
Yeah.
Is the Lord guiding you to do it? How does it affect your family, which has got to be number 1, or it's number 2?
Yeah.
How does it affect you, and how does it affect your community, the world around you? Man, I'm holding on to that. Yeah.
I can send you the text too.
That's it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. 1, is that the path that, well, what if you don't believe in God? Well, most of our listeners probably do.
Yeah, in some way.
But I got some bizarro listeners, and I love my bizarro listeners, but they might believe in some freaking crystals or something. I don't know what, but I think when you're doing right things, you feel it's right.
Yeah.
Not superficially, but deeply.
Right.
And that's the Lord guide. What do you think it's crystals or whatever? Mm-hmm. But so yeah, man, that's brilliant. Is the Lord guiding you? How does it affect your family? How does it affect you? Now, some people would argue if you think the Lord's guiding you, it doesn't matter how it affects you or your family or the world, right?
Yeah, that's a dangerous. I mean, I cringe anytime someone says the Lord told me to.
Right.
Because there are a lot of layers to how that gets affirmed and quantified.
That's right. And I simplify that with how sharp is your antenna?
Right.
Like, are you picking up the right? Yeah. Just because you want something really bad, don't mean the Lord's guiding it.
Yeah. Please don't take that oversimplification and run with it. I mean, there's layers to every one of those steps.
And yeah, well, there's whole religions built around, right. Is the Lord guiding you to do this or not? But yeah, man, I think if you got a firm grasp of your faith.
Well, the Lord is fair, He's never going to instruct you to do something apart from, like, that's contrary to Scripture. It's usually going to be affirmed through something you read in the Bible. It's usually going to be affirmed by people around you who are walking with the Lord. Right. I mean, there are kind of ways to have a sense about it versus.
I made sort of a semi-flippant joke, like is the voice of James Earl Jones going to come out of the sky and be like, Edgar?
That'd be nice.
Yeah, that would be nice.
That'd be awesome.
Please, man.
Yeah.
Just give me that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you have to be really sensitive and,
well, and like this guy was seeking counsel. Yeah. It's
important stuff like that. You got to have a homie to go to.
Yeah.
I said that with my therapy one. I prefer homie therapy over other therapy, but always you got to have somebody to go, hey man.
Yeah.
What do you think?
What does this sound like?
Yeah. Are you sensitive to what the Lord is guiding you to do? Some people's antenna ain't up.
No.
And some people's got omnidirectional antennas all over the place, and they're picking up all kind of white noise and garbage. So,
well, and even if your antenna's tuned in, it doesn't always take you don't always know it for sure until after the fact.
Yeah.
And it doesn't take the courage and fear out of the decision making.
Yeah, that's good. Those 4. I like that. I like that a lot. Well, I was using my stupid scale.
Your visual was good.
I'm gonna make an actual visual for that. I want to for my basic pistol class.
It makes a lot of sense.
I might even make it interactive where you can move it. So if I move this one automatically moves.
Should. Could probably sell them.
Yeah, you probably could. That's awesome. You got to figure out the increment scale now. I don't scale like what equals F. Like here's where it's acceptable F'd up, and here's where
it's not.
And then I was just using the green. Yeah, you could color scale. But yeah, I don't know how I started doing that one, but it seemed very simplistic. And I was talking to probably somebody who needed some very simplistic
Someone like me, a
explanation.
student like me.
Yeah. That's funny, man.
Well, I'll leave it that you called my 4 points brilliant. I don't think I have anything further to say then.
No,
What
those are
what do
brilliant.
you got? You want to
I
wrap
think
this up
let's finish that. It is God leading you to do it.
Mm-hmm.
How does it affect your family? How does it affect you and your mental stability and whatnot? And how does it affect the world around you, your community especially?
Yeah. Realizing that all 4 of those things are important.
So if all those things line up and sound right, then you can go all in.
Yeah.
If not, rethink it.
Yeah. I like it.
I like it. Awesome, man.
This is fun.
Yeah, this is good. This is good. This is awesome because I think that was a great topic.
Well, thanks for pushing the conversation.
Yeah, I'm just going to continue to steal little snippets from your podcast.
That's fine. Occasionally, we'll just do this some more. 2 guys with a face for radio.
Yeah. So what did I say? The other one? Oh, don't expect hard things not to be hard.
Oh, yeah.
That
was from the same episode, wasn't it?
I think it was.
Yeah.
That's going to be another one. I want to do an episode on that. Don't expect hard things not to be hard.
If you can wrap your mind around that in daily life, it helps. But it's hard in the moment to sometimes.
Well, let me tell you what my initial thought was on that. Life is hard.
Yeah.
Everything's hard. Don't expect anything to be easy.
No.
Go at it with a very just matter of fact, I'm doing this.
Yeah.
Until something prevents you from doing it.
Yeah, and I think the second episode of my podcast was essentially life is hard. There are no shortcuts.
Yeah,
you need to increase capacity.
Yep.
But that perspective of hard things are hard, and if you can take the emotion out of your response to that thing.
Well, the podcast you did that at, it was like you heard somebody like kind of complaining, like don't sign up for.
Well, I don't know what you signed up for this for.
What'd you sign up for?
It's a terrible race to sign up for. Yeah,
which is why I would never sign up for anything like that.
That one's brutal.
Because I would immediately be like,
yeah.
Well, what did I do? I'd step off. I mean, like 10 meters into it.
Right.
What? Wait a minute.
It was a terrible mistake. All right, we should stop before we start unpacking that one.
Let's do it, man.
Yeah.
All right.
Enjoyed it.
This was good. Awesome.
See you.
All right. There you go, good people. That was my friend Nathan Hicks and me talking about what it means to be all in. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Give me your feedback. Send your feedback. Follow Nathan Hicks, NJHX on Instagram, and Higher Ground, which is HGRND. I can't remember what the Higher Ground one is, but it's a great organization. It does great things. Please check out what we got coming up. OspreyShootingSolutions.com. Got a shooting match this weekend. 2teamguys.com. We got nothing scheduled right now. Always scheduling for the various things we do there. And please go check out Help a Homie Fund. That is givesendgo.com/help a homie fund. You can find all these things on my link tree. And I'm always happy to hear your feedback, folks. Other than that, you may get another episode before Christmas. So I'm still going to hold my Merry Christmases. All right. Take care, good people.